Madam, please unmute. Good evening, students. Can you see the PPT?
Yes.
Good evening, students. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please
Yes,
switch on
ma'am.
the cameras?
I'll switch it on in a minute. I just have to, I think my power is gone off, so I have to go check that.
Yes, sure. Can you still see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So it would be nice if you all could just switch on your cameras. I would
Ma'am,
like.
I am traveling, so I can't.
Okay, fine. What about others? Keshav is traveling. That's okay. What about others? Avashi, are you there in class?
Ma'am, I've switched on my camera.
Ma'am,
Jay, are you there? I think
ma'am,
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me.
ma'am, can you please stop sending the the request for switching on the video?
Uh, no, I didn't send any such requests.
Okay, ma'am. It
Are
was
you?
it was popping up like the host is requesting you to open your video.
No, I did. Then Ace is not there, right, in the meeting. We have Manasvi online today. Is there any boy named Gaurav? Keshav?
Yes, ma'am.
Vatsal? Who is Tahir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Kyle, is this your first class?
Yes.
So let us today begin with our section 6 under the SAT reading section, that is basically text structure and purpose. What do you understand by the word text structure? People who are online, and also you can answer. You are the only one today in class. Okay, so people who are online, tell me what do you mean by text structure? The way the text has been. Okay, so what are the different types of text? Can you tell me? Informative. Okay, informative. What else? Could it be analytical? It could be controversial. What else? See, whenever you are given a type of a passage in the examination, we had already discussed about this in the last class. It basically talks about something. So you had connectors. Basically, the connectors, they make connections. So they could be contradictors or they could be continuous and they could be cause and effect. Okay, so these type of connections that are present in the text, they tell us what kind of a text it is. So if we talk about the informative text, it basically, it might have continuous that, if we are talking about, for example, water pollution. So then we can just add on to the information by giving examples of the causes of water pollution and also the ways to combat it. If we are talking about, analytical text, what are analytical texts? Can somebody tell me? People who are online, what are analytical texts? Any idea?
Is it where the meaning is not like blatantly obvious and you have to analyze it to figure out what the purpose of the text is?
Yes. So here maybe some kind of an idea is presented, and it's basically on your understanding how well you can comprehend that particular idea. Such kind of texts are a bit difficult to comprehend because it might go in various directions, and you have to take a call that what is your understanding out of the text. Like for example, if we talk about ebooks and the hard copies of the books. Both of them have their disadvantages and advantages. So it is a very controversial topic. So it's on us whether we are supposed to look at the good or the bad of it, and we have to analyze it accordingly as per the question that is asked to us. So that is basically an analytical text. What is a controversial text? That presents any kind of controversy. That is basically a controversial text. Okay. Now, one thing that is very important, sometimes what happens if you are very much up to date and you read current affairs, these type of texts are basically, though they might be controversial, but sometimes they are just fake. So you are supposed to keep your knowledge aside and you just have to focus on whatever is provided to you. That's all. Because sometimes students, they actually get confused when they start relating their knowledge with the knowledge that has been given in the question. The questions are just made for your, just for your testing. It has nothing to do with the reality most of the time. Okay, so what is a text structure? Text structure refers to how information is organized in the passage, the chronological order of the information. Now, chronological order means if we are talking about, a butterfly. How does a butterfly come to an existence? It is basically a caterpillar first, and then it becomes a cocoon, and then you have the butterfly coming up. So if you have such kind of a text where you have the chronological order, or you have the water cycle, what is the water cycle? Can somebody tell me? What do you mean by water cycle? Yes. The cause of the rain, will be able to see the water cycle. So both of these texts are the example of chronological order, where you have a particular chronology. If we talk about cause and effects, so cause and effects, last time I had given you some kind of words that indicate cause and effect. So can you just recollect those words? Do you remember any words that show cause and effect relationship between two or more elements in the text? Don't open your books, try to recollect whatever you remember. Don't scroll pages.
Hello? Hello.
What did she say?
Could you repeat the question? I could not hear you.
Oh, so last time I had given you some words that indicate cause and effect relationship between, like, within the text. So what were those few words? If you can just recollect without. But that wasn't really given by me. But yes, it makes sense.
I think one was because.
What was it?
Because.
Because, okay. So cause and effect. Because. See, you have words like therefore, hence, because. All these words, they come under cause and effect. Okay? We have because, hence, therefore. All these words are cause and effect. Talking about compare and contrast. What kind of words do you think would be used for compare and contrast? So you can have the word greater than.
Though,
But-
but despite, however, or instead.
Instead. You also have words like moreover. Compare and contrast, where you can use moreover. If I will have to use the word however, however is a word that might be used for compare and contrast. But it goes towards the controversial elements, where you actually have a contradicting idea, however. So compare and contrast can be used over there. Moreover, again, it could be used as a continuer as well as it could be used as compare and contrast. What about problem and solution? You can use like words like as a result. Okay. Then you can have words again like hence, therefore. What about description? You will be using some of the continuous for description. Do you remember some of the continuous? And what else? For contradictors, you have words like although, as well as yes, as well as will be used over here, as well as a continuer, although, even though. With that, will say furthermore. Furthermore. Furthermore, yes. Continuer. Yes. So it is basically furthermore. I'm just filling out the board, in a very random pattern because this is everything that we have already done. I'm just doing a quick revision because most of the topics under the reading section are just overlapping. You just have to, it is just your comprehension. How well do you understand, analyze, and comprehend the text that is given to you? I am here to just give you some of the strategies to understand it. Rest, everything is on you. Everything depends upon practice. Okay, so what is the author's purpose? Author's purpose refers to the reason for writing the passage. Common purposes include to inform or explain, to persuade or argue, to entertain or narrate, or to describe or illustrate. Okay, so the purpose. So the name of the topic is basically text structure and purpose. Once we come to know about the structure, like is it representing any contradictory idea, or it is just giving us some information about the same topic, or is it a cause and effect thing, then we have to recognize what is the purpose of the text. So if a particular text is written in a newspaper, basically a news report, what is the purpose of a news report? Informative.
Inform.
No, but you are telling me the structure of the news report could be informative. What could be the purpose? To inform. Okay, so it would come under the first one, right? The first category. What about advertisements? Personal. Can you give me some example for argument? Have you ever read a passage or something around that argues something?
We've had to write argumentative essays for language so that
Debate.
What did she say? Okay, so you basically have what it was. I think it is anti something like that, right? What is it called? We call it thesis and antithesis, something like that.
those were part of the argumentative, like we just called it argumentative essay, and then we also had discursive for.
Because in the SC board too, they have something like this. I think it is called something like thesis and antithesis. I don't really remember. It is called something like that. Okay, fine. So you know what are argumentative essays, right? The rest of you, do you know what are argumentative essays? Jay, Vatsal? Okay. To entertain or to narrate. So basically you have novels that are written to entertain or to narrate. And to describe or illustrate, for this you have many examples if you read a blog or if you read an article. The purpose of all these is to describe or illustrate something. Then we have strategies for analyzing texts. So identify the main idea or the argument. The very first thing is basically to understand what is the text trying to present. One thing that you can actually try doing is try to visualize whatever the text is trying to present. So for example, if you have many things that you can see inside the text, your mind should automatically make a mind map. Do you know what is mind mapping? The way I did it over here. Text, informative, analytical, then we have controversial. So basically your mind should be prepared, and you need to practice this skill where you, as soon as you read, your mind should be able to make a mind map out of it. And that mind map will help you to solve the questions, because you will be having the passage on the screen. If you think that you might forget the mind map later, so you can just have a paper for rough work and basically a pencil or a pen in your hand, and you can make a mind map out of it. Whatever you read, you need to make a mind map out of it. That is really very important. Then you have to look for transition words to determine structure. So we already know the transition words. In the last, the words in context, that session 2, I had given you a list of some transition words, and here also you have a huge list. If you look at page number 78, we'll check that out later. Ask why the author included specific details. So you need to know the purpose of writing the text. That is actually very important, because the questions, they are asked in such a way. So, if it is a text about, if I tell you there is an article about the growth of population in rural areas. Okay, it is an article. So basically, it could have two purposes: the growth of population in rural areas. One purpose, it could be lack of education. The author actually he intends to depict the lack of education in rural areas, and also he intends to spread awareness. So he has two purposes. So such kind of question could be asked. There could be 4 options. What is the most appropriate purpose of the author for writing this particular text? Then you have to choose one option. Focus on the tone and the choice of words to infer purpose. This is also very important. So people who actually read novels, they will, this is very easy for them to understand what is the intention of author. Also with punctuation marks, if there are some, in the particular passage, you will be able to recognize the tone of the passage and also the choice of words. So the choice of words, are they formal, are they informal? If you try to understand the choice of words, then you will be able to understand what is the intention behind writing this and who are the audience, who the author is catering to by expressing his ideas. Okay, so understanding this is very important. Do you know some of the common punctuation marks and why they are used? Like, I think students who were there with me for the grammar thing, the writing section, we had a topic named punctuations. So we had done many punctuation marks, and it actually tells us about the tone of the entire passage. Okay, so we have the question structures. Text purpose questions, primary purpose, author's perspective, and specific purpose. It basically means, what is the primary purpose of the text? This could be asked in a question. The author's perspective could be asked. Now, when author's perspective is asked, then you actually have to analyze the text very nicely. Because if you see any piece of text, as soon as it is written on the paper, its perspective changes according to who is reading it, right? Because the reader decides the perspective. So sometimes it is like whatever the author is trying to present as his perspective, it might be very different from the reader's perspective. So you have to keep your perspective aside and you have to focus on author's perspective. This is a bit challenging one, but as you practice, you'll be able to solve this too. Specific purpose. So again, specific purpose, for example, there is a text on, as I say, global warming. So the specific purpose is basically to, deal with environmental issues. So you might have such option you can choose that among the options. Then you have text structure questions. Now this text structure questions, you might have questions like, is this a controversial text or is this, does this text depict cause and effect? So the questions might be something like this, the organization of passage. Organization of passage again, it might ask you about the next step. So for example, if the text, it ends at as a result. So you have the last word as a result, and you have like a dash after that. So you have to see to it that according to you, what is the result of a particular text that is presented, and you have to analyze it, and then you have to decide, because the text is basically a cause and effect. So you have to understand it. Organization of the passage. Sometimes in organization of the passage, you have basic facts, as I told you, the life cycle of a butterfly, the water cycle. So all these are basic things that you actually know. So organization of the passage questions are usually like this. The function of the sentence, again, this is very important. So function of the sentence, if you have questions like this, contradictors, continuers, like what is the significance of the sentence at that particular point? That sentence might be underlined. So for that, they would ask you that what is the purpose of this particular sentence? And if you look at the options, you get to know. The main thing, that is basically the chief principle, is first to understand the text and to have a mind map in your mind about the text. That would help you with all this. Then we have the use of evidence. So if there is an idea that is presented, so according to you, what kind of evidence is used by the author? So you have to list down there would be, the options, and then you have to choose the most appropriate evidence. You might find the evidence from the text itself, but like such type of options are very, overlapping and confusing. So you have to choose the right kind of evidence where a particular argument has been proved by the author in history. Then you have the combination questions. Yes, in some questions you have the combination of purpose and structure. So the questions are basically, sometimes they are asked separately and one option has like both the elements. And sometimes the questions are in such a way that both purpose and structure, they are combined together. And then you have to choose accordingly. Main idea and support. Yes, what is the main idea? So basically, people who have a literature background, and if they go and check out the summary and the theme of the novel or whatever work of art they want to read, because this is what we do. If we want to read a particular work of art, we need to have some idea about it. If we go to a movie theater to watch a movie, what is the first thing that we do? Watch the trailer. Right? If we don't watch the trailer, we will not know what is the context of the movie. Similarly, the main idea of the passage is basically a kind of a trailer. So this main idea would just be of 1 or 2 words or even a sentence, and also the support that is present. Support is basically, what support this particular main idea that you will have to look up from the options. Then you have applications to multiple paragraphs. The role of the paragraph, connecting ideas. So sometimes, there are 2 paragraphs given to you, not just one small passage, but there are 2 short paragraphs given to you. So the significance of the second paragraph, the significance of the first paragraph, what role does this paragraph play? All these questions are very important. Here you just have to stick to what is given to you. If you have some extra information that is apart from the text that is given to you, just keep it aside. Okay, you just focus on whatever information is given to you as per the question, because you have to analyze the text. If you use your knowledge from outside, then sometimes what happens? Your answer might turn out to be wrong. So just stick to the information that is provided to you, and all the answers, they actually refer to and they rely on the information that is provided to you. They do not intend to test your knowledge outside it. This is not a GK paper. This is a paper that tests your language skills, how well you can comprehend, like how well and how quick you can read and comprehend and answer accordingly. So it is not about your GK, it's not about your knowledge about topics, it is just about your comprehension and analyzing skills. Okay? Okay, so recognize the common text structures. You have to understand the author's purpose. And yes, I think that is the end of the PPT. So do you have any doubts? As such, then we can just move on to your books. You can remove page number 78. If you see on page number 78, there is a huge list of continuous given to you. Okay. And you have a list for support. Support basically, if something you are giving a context to me, and what actually supports the context is the example. That is the best support for the context. So you have your, for example, for instance, you also have explain while you are providing some more information about a particular context. Speculate. Then you have call attention to, underscore, highlight, or emphasize. Okay, indicate importance. Then you have contradictors. There is a huge list of contradictors that is given to you. Define. Now, if you look at define, there is a use of 3 punctuation marks. That is basically a colon, a dash, and parentheses. What is a colon? Do you know what is a colon? What is a colon? Colon is a form of punctuation because when you are to explain. Yes, I know that, but what is a colon? Like, how does it look? The comma was dot. Okay. A comma with a dot. No, it is a semicolon.
A colon is a dot and a dot.
A colon is basically like this. 2 dots is a colon. If you put a dot and a comma, then it becomes a semicolon. And the purpose of semicolon and a colon are like very, very different. A semicolon is basically used when you have to add a pause to the sentence. Okay. And when there are 2 ideas presented together without a subordinating conjunction. So if you don't want to add a subordinating conjunction, you can simply add a semicolon and then you can put 2 ideas together. For example, I slept early tonight. I was tired. Like I slept early tonight, semicolon, I was tired. So rather than writing because, I just added a semicolon. Okay. So this is the use of semicolon. The use of colon is basically to list out things or to give out definitions. Similarly, you have a dash. Okay, so this is the dash. Dash is basically used in terms of supplements also. Students who have attended the writing session, the writing sessions of the start, so they know about this. Dash is basically when some kind of a non-essential supplement is added to the sentence. So just to separate it with from the rest of the sentence, you have a dash and then the non-essential supplement, and then again a dash. Okay, so for example, my uncle, then you have a dash, who lives in US, then again you have a dash, is my favorite, something like this. So this is basically some extra information that is added. So you can just use this to identify the extra information. Also, then you have parentheses. What are parentheses? You remember it?
Square bracket, curly bracket.
Yeah, they are simply brackets. So sometimes, if you are talking about a particular place, and then you have to give the exact location of the place. So you can just write the name of the country in the bracket, and you can just give some extra information. So that is known as parentheses. Then you have compare, like, much, similarly. Then you have draw, confusion, as a result, hence, so, qualify. Again, qualify in this particular thing also you will be using dashes and parentheses. Now you have a solved example. I want you all to read the solved example. Just read the question in your mind. Just try to understand the structure of the question. So here you have a passage that is given to you. Then you have a sentence that is underlined. It is on page number 79. And then the question is, which choice best describes the function of the underlined portion in the text as a whole? Okay, so though a particular sentence is underlined, still you have to relate the context of that particular sentence with the entire passage as a whole, and then you have to answer. Tahi, are you understanding? Do you have any doubts as it is your first lesson?
No, I'm understanding.
Okay. Are you done? I'm really not sure about the meaning, but I think it has something to do with people who actually go against the societal norms. Yeah, you can just Google it. Basically doing something that is against the societal norms to be person. And
We're doing the example on page number 79, right?
Yes, page number 79.
Okay, done.
Yes. So what is the answer for this?
D.
It is B. Okay, so the question goes to drivers, the color red means stop, but on the map it tells traffic engineers to lap into action traffic control centers like the one on the 17th floor of the Boston City Hall, a room cluttered with computer terminals and live video feeds of urban intersections. So again, do you see the use of a dash after the word City Hall? There is a dash and there is some kind of extra information that is given to you. And again, it is after open intersections, you have a dash. Okay. So this basically, it is giving us some kind of an extra information. Let us see whether this information is useful to us or not. Represent the brain of the traffic system. The city's network of sensors, cables, and signals are the nerves connected to the rest of the body. Okay, the city's network of sensors, cables, and signals are the nerves connected to the rest of the body. So, if I have to talk about the figurative language, which figure of speech is used in this sentence? Can you tell me? Anyone? The sentence that is underlined.
Metaphor.
Metaphor, okay, but what if I say personification? Yes.
No.
The city's network of sensors, cables, and signals are the nerves connected to the rest of the body.
How is that personification? There is no humanization. Like they are not physically doing an action, right?
But the nerves of the rest of the body, it is
Yes.
basically a quality that is present in human beings. So the same
Yeah,
quality.
aren't they comparing it to like a human body?
Yes,
So that would be a metaphor because they're comparing.
yes. So it is a metaphor too, and it is a personification too. But actually, I think your voice is a bit, I don't know, but I think it is lagging behind with for me. Is there some connectivity issue at your end?
Yeah, there's no Wi-Fi, so I'm on hotspot.
Because I think the voice is coming to me first and then I could see you talking. Something like this is happening. Okay, so if you want to say something, you could just type it out. It would be better. Just I am really confused. What are you saying? It's very difficult to comprehend, to understand what you're saying. Most people don't think there are eyes and ears keeping track of all this stuff. Says John de Benedictis, the center's engineering director. But in reality, engineers literally watch our every move, making uh, subtle changes that relieve and redirect traffic. Okay, so this actually also talk about the surveillance. Do you know what is the meaning of surveillance? Surveillance. So, check it. Yes. So, see, now if there is a traffic police, do you drive? Anybody of you? I think all of you are below 18, right? You don't drive. So have you seen your elder sibling or maybe your parents when they drive and whenever they have a signal in front of them, the first thing that they check is there any, traffic police standing around? If not, then usually what we can do, we can just simply break the signal and then we can move. So this was one of the problems that was faced by the Department of Road, and they actually thought of one thing that is basically surveillance. Whenever we talk about surveillance, it is basically having an invisible watch over us. So even if we don't have a traffic policeman who is standing, but still we know that there are cameras around the signal. Though nobody is really watching us or watching us, we don't know, but the cameras are watching us. Hence, what we do, we tend to not break the signal and we wait for our turn. So this is the power of surveillance. And I think this is what is talked about by the center's engineering director too. Okay, so here we have a sentence that is underlined. So the idea that I gave you, that was just, an extra information that I gave you. But this, when I say the underlined sentence, the city's network of sensors, cables, and signals are the nerves connected to the rest of the body. The idea of surveillance does not really go with it. It has something else to do. If, the sentence, most people don't think there are eyes and ears keeping track of all this stuff. If this sentence would have been underlined, then the purpose for that I talked about surveillance, then that was the right purpose of this sentence. But here we have some different sentence that is underlined. So let us check out what is the function of the underlined portion of the text as a whole. And you told me the answer is D. To provide examples of ways in which drivers' actions can be monitored remotely. Okay. So as we all know that the city's network of sensors, cables, and signals are the nerves connected to the rest of the body. So it is basically, an idea is being presented that if there are cameras installed at each and every road and at each and every turn, then what would happen? Just like we have a human body, each and every nerve is connected to each other. We have the reflex action. If we have to talk, if we whatever we think, if I have to move my hand, my brain will give signal to my nerves, like my muscles will move, my fingers will move. Similarly, if we have to keep a control over the entire city, it is very important to install cameras so that each and every turn, each and every road is connected to each other. Okay, and in this way, we could have a surveillance and we could control the traffic, we could control, sometimes the accidents they take place simply because of people who don't follow the traffic rules. So we could actually avoid that too. So this is the idea that is presented. What about the rest of three options to describe a problem commonly faced by traffic engineers? That is definitely the wrong answer, as Yes, the commonly faced problems by traffic engineers, to some extent it is described, but the underlying sentence, it does not really talk about this. To point out some important differences between traffic control centers and human brain, this is basically no. This is just out. Like we could simply eliminate this one to discuss the purpose of items found in the traffic control centers. No. Like we have sensors, cables, and signals, but the purpose of that particular sentence is not this. Hence, the right option is option D. Okay. So here the idea of surveillance is, the word surveillance is not particularly present over there. But then you need to understand this by reading the text. What could be the purpose for the engineers to actually install cameras and to keep a watch to connect the city with a network of sensors, cables, and signals? It is basically to avoid any kind of accidents and, to basically it becomes a necessity for people to then follow rules when they think that they are being watched, simply because of that. Okay, so you have a long explanation that is given to you about the same. Why answer A, B, and C are not right. You have that already. Now, if you look at the second one, just read the second one in your mind. Okay, and what could be the right answer according to you? Just tell me. Have you read the second one? Okay. Jay, can you tell me what is the second one about? And what, according to you, is the right answer? I also want to know that. Jay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
I think it's B.
You think it's D? What about others? What do you think? Is it D? Manasvi, what do you think?
I think it's A, the difference between the discovered planet and Earth.
Okay, what about Avishti? What do you think?
Yeah, ma'am, it's A.
Okay, what about the rest of two who are online, Tahir and Vatsal? Did you go through the question?
Option A.
You think it's A?
Yes.
See, now, what mistake the students make? Yes, the answer is A, no doubt. But as we said, that answer could be D. So, I think what mistake you might have made, it is basically you look at the entire context and then you think that, okay, That's okay, whatever we have the context, the passage with us, what does it mean? And then we try to choose the option. But we don't have to do this. We only have to look at the underlying sentence and how it is connected with the rest of the sentence. Okay? So, particularly, what sense does the underlying sentence make according to the rest of the passage is asked to us. Some students, what they do, they just, they are in a hurry. They have less time and the time is going to get over. So they will just read the underlying sentence and accordingly they will choose one answer. Again, this is problematic because you have to relate the underlying sentence to the rest of the context. So if you do this, this again won't work. Hence, it is very important to have a mind map created. You can mentally create it or you can create it on a paper. Okay, it is your wish. And then option A suits the best. It emphasizes an important distinction between forward 7B and Earth. What is the important distinction? Avishi, can you tell me?
Could you repeat?
The right option is option A, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So what is the important distinction between forward 7B and Earth?
So I have to tell what is the distinction, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it says that the planet is separated by its star, and the distance between them is quite small.
Yes. So that basically shows us the distinction between the two because the star that is the closest to the Earth is basically the moon. And if you look at sun, the planet that is closest to the sun is Mercury, and for sun, Mercury is its star that is revolving around it. Okay, and they are talking about the distance. They are comparing the distance, and they are actually relating it to the the orbit of the planet that is Corot 7. Okay, so you have Corot 7C, and then you have Corot 7B. So again, they are presenting two ideas, I think. In the first sentence, they were talking about some other planet. And then they're talking about Corot 7B in the next context. So you just have to keep everything in mind, whatever is presented. Just, convert it into a non-verbal form as a graphical representation in your mind, and this would help you to solve the question. Just go through the third one, okay? Tell me if you didn't understand anything. Here you have main point versus primary purpose. I want you to start reading from page number 82 to page number 83, okay? Till the word inspiration and invention. Try to read this entire thing and see if you can make sense out of it. And try out one thing. Whenever you have read something and you have to make sure whether I'm right or wrong, like whatever is my understanding about it, is it correct? Is it appropriate or not appropriate? Then what you can do is just take a pencil in your hand and underline the keywords. And whatever context you have in your mind, if those keywords go hand in hand with it, then your understanding is right. Using those keywords, you can actually form the mind map too. Okay? So do this. I want Trinity to explain this to everybody. This way. You will also come to know the difference between what is the main point and what is the primary purpose of the passage. Tell me, where do you stay?
Belapur.
Okay. Like, are you planning to attend all the sessions online?
Uh, yes, mostly.
Okay. What is better? Do you think online is better or sitting in class is better? I would compare it to that. Okay. My is travel. Sit online and then you can afford. And not the better that's because to me it is a very far distance. And in English I don't need to travel as much. I'm very important. Yeah. I can do it myself. But then for math, I do understand why I have to come. But for me, even our batch is small, so online is also fine. Yes. The best part is you have a small batch. You are hardly 6 or 7 of you who attend the class. So like I would give personal attention to each one of you who actually don't understand. That's okay. Usually, I have this approach where I make you guys discuss with each other and then you give me a conclusion about the answer. Like whoever is wrong, you can actually correct that person or something like that. Rather than me speaking all the time, you could actually discuss and guess what is the right answer. This is what I always do. And I think that is a bit difficult in hybrid. All are offline, then it is okay. If all are online, then it is okay. Hybrid mode is like, it's a bit challenging. Yes. Tahir, can you tell me what is the difference between the main purpose? I did the bell. What is the difference between the main purpose and the primary purpose and the main point? Did you understand whatever you read?
Not really.
Okay.
Ma'am, could you explain it? Main point versus primary purpose.
Yes, I'll do that. See now what happens, this will always happen with practice. And you are going to face the same challenge in your examination too. Sometimes when your brain reads something new for the first time, it does not understand. So what you will do, you will try to read it the second time. Now for the first time, whatever your brain has understood, like that might be a bit different from whatever your brain understands from the second. Sometimes it simply adds on to whatever it understands for the first time, but sometimes the results are completely opposite because your brain has some information about it as you have just read about it. So it has a kind of a recency effect because you have recently read that particular passage. And then, the context that you derive after reading for the second time, it is different because then your brain tries to use logic, facts, and all this. And whenever I'm talking about SAT reading section, I always suggest students to keep their understanding aside, and you just have to you simply have to comprehend the text and stick to whatever information that is provided to you. That's all. That's all you need. Similarly, for the first time when you read this, whatever I had asked you to read, you were not able to understand. That is totally fine. I'm here to help you. If you try to solve questions, this will be something that will be developing in you that you will understand the context at once. And that is very important because during your examination, you won't have time to read the same thing twice. Okay, so whatever you read and whatever you understand at once, that is, I would say, the like it is the supreme understanding that you have. When you try to read it the second time, you basically it is ruptured. The understanding is basically, at some point of time you are, you decay that particular kind of understanding that occurs for the first time. So don't try to do this. Anybody who understood what is the difference between the primary purpose and the main idea after reading this? Primary purpose. The main point is what the overall passage is trying to tell you. The primary purpose is there's this one line in the whole passage. The idea of the whole passage. That one line is the primary purpose. Okay. Can you relate it to the topic? So main idea has something to do with the text structure, and the primary purpose has something to do with the purpose. That is the author's perspective. Okay, this is the basic purpose. And here it is written, the primary argument the author is making, it is usually stated more or less directly in the passage, usually in the introduction and conclusion. Okay, so purpose, it is basically, as I told you, the author's intentions. And if we talk about the main idea is something that is the text structure. So you will be having, is it a contradictory text or a continuing thing or a cause and effect thing? You will get to know about this by the main idea of the text. Okay, this is the basic difference. Did you get it, Jay? Very good, yes. Okay. I think there was one more student. Did somebody leave? Keshav. Yeah. Keshav is not there. He's traveling. I think he might have some network issues. Okay. So what is this third question about? Watsal, can you tell me, did you read the third question?
Yes.
Yes. So can you explain it to me and give me the right answer?
I think the right answer would be B.
Say the right answer. B. Okay. I thought you said the right answer would be. Then I'm waiting for the answer. Okay, fine. What about the others? What do you think? What is the right answer? It's B. Tahir, what do you think?
B.
Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Tahir?
No, it's Tahir.
Tahir. Okay. So correct me. I thought it was Tahir. It's Tahir. Okay. Jay, what about you?
Yes, ma'am. I also go with B.
Okay. Very good. Vatsal, can you explain why is the answer B? Why is the correct answer B? I need an explanation.
Like the underlined portion, it is like just it's like explaining about like the marine life or the marine communication, like how it's like what is there, how it's been formed.
Okay. So what is, if I have to talk about the main idea, what is the main idea of the passage?
Main another passage is like I think
Money.
marine.
Oh, marine. Okay. Really sorry. Yes, marine.
My mistake.
Can you give me a better word for it?
Better word.
Marine is the
Miss,
right
could you
answer.
please give me 1 minute? Hello.
I think rather than just saying marine, you can say marine biology. Okay, that would be a better word. Don't you think so?
Or exploring marine.
Yes. Marine biology or communication of marine animals. That is the main idea. So rather
No,
than
why
just
wouldn't it be C? It
why would
presents a novel theory about underwater perception.
no, actually, I think B is the most appropriate one that goes with it and not C.
No, I'm asking why would it not be that?
Did somebody explain it why it is not C as per your understanding? What is novel theory? Now, novel theory is basically, an idea that is presented by marine biologists. That is, something novel, basically something new. A new kind of a theory that is presented by a marine biologist or the scientists. And about the underwater, but is there not about water? Yes. Yes. The first thing is it is not about underwater perception but communication, as Trinity said. Also, it is not something novel. Have you researched about this? Is there written? They have researched about this. But basically, this novel theory about underwater perception, this option, see, that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes the options are very overlapping. Then you have to go with one because you cannot go with two. And according to this concept, whatever is underlined, B is the best that suits the underlying context. Hence, we will go with B. It describes an unusual form of marine communication. Because you know what? Again, Jay, what you are looking at is basically the entire context of the passage. And we only have to talk about the underlying context. Okay? But for that, it is not like you just have to read the underlying context. You have to read the entire thing, but then you have to just choose what is the underlying thing talking about specifically with regard to the entire passage. Okay? So B is the right option. What is the main purpose? So you gave me the main idea, Watson. Avishi, according to you, what is the main purpose of this passage?
Like, it is contradicting the above statement given.
Okay. What else? Main purpose. So what would be the author's intention to write about it? It's informative. It is informative. It's not controversial, but it's new. Yes. It's a novel definitely. So it is basically adding on to the existing things and it is modifying the information that was already existing. Okay, so it is just informative. It is not really contradicting, but it is just, shaping out the theory that was already existing. So it is again nothing new, I would say. They are just trying to add on to the information and they are just trying to give a new shape to it. So B is basically the most appropriate option that you should go with. Can you see example 1? Here in example 1, see the words that are underlined, it is basically however, hardly, self-evident. All these words will not really be underlined. Okay, they have just given you some explanation, hence they have underlined that word for a particular purpose. But can you see the first two lines, they are in bold. Okay, so that is basically the main purpose, or I would say the primary purpose of the text that is there in the introduction. And the passage starts with the word throughout. Okay, throughout the dinosaurs' time on Earth, there was an amplification of boniness and spikiness. However, the advantage of skull frills and back plates is hardly self-evident. Okay, so in this particular, this was just one sentence. It gives you the entire context. You have the word however. They have underlined the word however. It presents some kind of a contradiction, right? To the idea that is presented to you. So can you see, and what is the question is, which choice best states the main purpose of the text? Because here there is nothing really underlined. They have made that thing bold for your understanding. But if you have such type of question in the examination where you have to identify the main purpose of the text, you will not be having anything that is, underlined or basically highlighted. What do you think is the right answer for this one?
Now it should be B, right?
Should be B. What about others? What do you think? If you just go to the next part on page number 85, here you have plain positive and negative. Do you remember? We have something like this in the words and context session 2, plain positive and negative. Sorry. Device. 8:30. You don't want to see the timetable? No, I'm okay. So usually you have 2 hours class, 6:30 to 8:30. Okay. So playing positive and negative with function questions. Do you remember what is playing positive and negative? We had done that in the last class. For words in context. Can you recollect playing positive and negative? What does that mean? Tahir, you know what? I can see your screen more than your face. I can see that tab just moving around. So like, are you using your phone or your laptop?
My laptop.
So you just take it a bit down. Like the flap, I think it's like this. Like this.
Yes, the hinges are broken. That's why.
Oh, okay, it was broken.
Yeah.
Fine. So Tamir was not there in last class, but I think others were there. You don't remember what is positive and negative? So negative is in a sentence. Positive. Okay, that was the example. What is playing positive and negative?
Ma'am, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I can't see the video,
so
but
in a sentence, we did this last time cross, I don't remember for what, but we had to underline if there was a positive relation or a negative relation. Like if it said in contrast to, then that would be negative. And if it said like, or it was like comparing to the previous sentence, then that would be positive. And based on that, we guess the answer because two would be positive and two would be negative. So we could
yes.
eliminate.
So playing positive and negative, basically you have to understand what is the context. So if I'm talking about the contradictors, it would have a negative tone. But if I'm talking about a continuer, then it is a positive thing, right? So this is what is playing positive and negative. So whatever part you have underlined in that particular passage, you can actually have a prediction. Is it talking about something negative about rest of the sentence or something positive about rest of the sentence? And this is the case most of the time. One or two options, they are just against your prediction, so you can completely eliminate them. Then you have only 2 or 3 options left to choose from. So you can do this positive negative thing in this also. So like in the last session too, if you have to choose words, you can do positive and negative. If you also have to get the right context, then also you can play positive and negative. What about this one? What is the right answer for example 1? On page number 83. Is C. What about others? What do you think would be the right answer for example 1, page number 83? So they are asking you about the main purpose of the text. Option C is it describes a dinosaur species in order to illustrate a puzzling trend. Is this right? Are you all still reading?
Yeah, ma'am. Seems right.
Okay. What about Jay and Faisal? What do you both think?
Yes, I think see.
Even I think C, but no, yeah, it's C.
I think all the other options. This one was quite easier. See, when you have to choose the main purpose of the text, and you are not specifically talking about, one particular sentence and its relationship with the rest of the text, then the question is very much easy. You basically just have to point out the main idea of the entire text. So basically, your time is saved, your efforts are saved, and it is easier to pick out the right option, isn't it? Okay. So again, you have example 2. Just go through the example 2 and give me the right answer. Again, you have to choose the main purpose of the text. B. Try out this one. You're done with it. Done with the exercises you have. Okay, that's nice. Did you solve the exercise that I had given you the last time for the words in context? Practice exercise. Oh, you did that already. Thanks. Don't you find it difficult? Simple. You work on which board? Yes, that's right. The emphasis on language is a lot in ICSE boards as compared to the state or the CBSE. Right? English is more, we have lesser. Yeah, is. Okay. The CBSE is a lot tougher than compared to it. Because it's a central board and then at the center we follow that language. I think ICSE gives more than English. You don't get, but if there is another language, another subject, ICSE, you can still be local subject. Oh, okay, essentially. In CBSE, basically, no, they have a lot of content. Like, I think they don't have a lot of content. They have less content, but more questions. ICSE has more content, but the questions are easy. Like, I am a student from the state board, but I have many friends and students from the CBSE and ICSE board. Which school? My school was in Mumbai. I live in Mumbai. I don't live up there. Okay. Yes. So I was in a school that's a Freedom Convent High School. It's a state board. Yes. Yes, it was a state board. So at the state board too, the emphasis is basically on theory. Similarly in CBSE. But in ICSE, one thing that I like, the emphasis on language. That is really very good. In SSC boards too, like you have 3 language, Hindi, Marathi, and English. So, for people who are non-Maharashtrians, for them adapting to Marathi is like a very difficult task. Yeah. But the importance to Marathi that is given for like in state boards, it's like too much. Yeah, like for us, we had Marathi. Yes. I'm from South India, so for me, Marathi is very hard. Hindi was also very hard. And the level of Marathi also was like we had, complex grammar in Marathi. So I think that's why I said You were a good choice. Yes. I could understand English so better. Absolutely. But now I'm in CBSE compared to plus everything CBSE. So I can see that what I studied in 9th and 10th, especially in like, English, what I'm doing now and what I studied in 10th was so different. That English is so much easier. Yes. Because we had Shakespeare in 10th. Yes. And get to this exam. I think last year it was watching Spanish. Yes. So we had, and their books are like tiny with very little stuff. So very different. We have like two books. One is for poetry and one is for I think chapters for CBSE board. They do not have anything like literature is not. For them, it's more of theory of English, not really the what you understand. But if you see the state board level of English, it is actually the worst. Yeah. They did not have literature in any aspect. The emphasis is more on grammar. In state board, you will have grammar. Just like I had taught you all about the writing section. That was, I think, something you did. But like for a SSC board student, that is something that's normal. All the concepts and everything. There, I think the focus is on literature more. We have literature, but yes. The grammar is taught at a younger age, so you understand. But like an SSC board, you have like grammar 10 standard. I cannot tell you about ICSE grammar because for me, I never studied that. Okay. I've always spoken English from childhood. So English is like my native language. Yes. What about you guys? Are you guys from CBSE or ICSE? People who are online?
CBSE.
ICSE. Okay.
Mom, I was from the same school as Trinity.
Oh, my mom was a teacher. Oh, okay. What about Tahir and Vatsal? Are you from the CBSE or the ICSE board?
ICSE.
Was in ICSE under 10th and now I'm in CBSE.
Yes, because I think for 11th and 12th, we do not have the ICSE board in India. So you have ISC.
No, we have ISC, which is the same thing, but then CBSE is more helpful for
It's
JEE.
very common for 11th and 12th.
Yeah.
ISC is very tough. Okay. 91% is very good ISC. Oh.
ISC is actually better for commerce, but then for PCM or PCB, CBSE is better because JEE syllabus is based on it.
State board is actually very much good for science. Because on science is a lot on state board. The theory that they have for science. I think after 7th or 8th grade, they have good scientific knowledge for science. Like in 10th, what do they have? I don't especially remember, but then they had some kind of like animal kingdoms and all. Like this is very basic. This is very basic. Because I don't teach science, but I think as compared to other boards, the state board has a lot of theory science, a lot of theory. What I was told, no. So my friends in state, her science book is the size of my biology book, which is finished at all three of science. And we have 3 different papers for science. One 8 mark paper for bio, one for chemistry, one for physics. And they have one paper for all stuff. They have one paper. No, they have 2 papers. One for math, yes. We have one paper for math, but they have 3 papers for science. Yes, for physics and chem they have one, and for bio they have the other one. For geometry, algebra, maths, 2 papers. Math textbook is same. I think the last time when I had learned maths and science was in 10th. After that, I was an art student totally dedicated to literature. I thought 10th. Yes. So what is your profession? I'm actually a teacher. I have completed my master's. I've completed my bachelor's in education. I'm pursuing my master's in education. So it's all about this. So which subjects do you teach? English only. Yes. We have to actually have a consecutive subject along with English if we are teaching in school. Yeah. So I am trained to teach history and geography also, but that is not really my forte. I'm only focused on English. I can teach history, geography, but I don't like it. I only like literature a lot. Math science is something for me I left behind years ago, so I don't really remember much about it. My mom used to teach her math and biology. Okay. So I am from a complete STEM background. I'm the only one in my house who is doing commerce. Oh, okay. What about you? Do you all are interested in English? I know about Manasvi. She reads novels. She's very much interested in literature. What about you guys? Very good.
I wanted to take up journalism and literature, and then I got yelled at, so now I'm doing engineering.
Okay. What about Jay? What are your plans?
It's mainly engineering.
You have no interest in literature and English.
No,
Right.
not really.
Just
I'm just doing it because I have to.
yeah, like that actually it is an important component.
Yeah.
And this is only English. It is not about literature. So it is good enough. It's just the basic thing, how well you can comprehend and analyze whatever you read. So that's okay. It's just English. This is what happens in the state board also. They do not have literature. They have everything like this. What about Vatsal? What are your plans in future?
Like doing engineering.
Engineering for you too. I think that's a good one. That is fine. Yes. It is basically sometimes students do it even if it is not their interest, but it is very common, so they do it. That's okay. I think sometimes when you do things, you eventually develop interest in that. But for me, I was very much interested since school in this English language and literature was something I loved the most. That's the reason I chose arts. And like we have many more. I'm also a psychology student. Like I've studied psychology for 4 years. So I had an option to do masters in psychology too, but I chose literature also. Which part? SIS. From SIS. Oh, a lot of my class. Yeah. What about Vicky? What are your plans?
Mama, I'm pursuing medical, like NEET. I love bio, but then I also love literature, so I write poems and songs. Like I've I have an interest in that too.
Okay. So basically, what happens? This literature aspect is looked upon as something that is not really career oriented. So people usually, write poems and they write, something like that just for, fun or maybe a kind of a hobby. But then they are much more oriented to, engineering or, medical, something like that. This is what I have seen people. What about Tare? What are your future plans?
Engineering only.
Engineering? Okay, that's nice. I think I'm the only one who's the commerce student. Yes, but then commerce again has a lot. Actually, each and every field has a lot of scope. I'm doing natural science. Okay, then commerce. Yes. Like you have so many things to do. And like because I think I told this to you, your batch or some other batch because of NEP 2020. Do you know what is NEP 2020? NEP 2020. What is
Yeah.
NEP 2020?
They're letting us pick multiple subjects together, even if the streams don't coincide.
So when I was doing my master's in English literature, I had already completed their masters in accountancy, or they might be, doctors, but still they were pursuing their masters in English literature because they were just interested in that. So earlier, before NEP 2020, this was not really allowed, but now it is allowed. So if it is a professional thing, then you have to, follow the hierarchical thing. You have to complete your bachelor's and your master's. But if it is, a theoretical thing, just like master's in English literature, it is not really professional oriented. So you can do that along with any other thing. If you have to pursue your master's in education specifically, then for that you need to have your bachelor's in education. It's like that. So because of NP, we can actually do many things. We can combine many subjects together and you can make our own, field of expertise. It's just because of NP went there. Okay, so I think this was a break. We were talking something that was away from our topic. Yes.
Mom, I finished the class worksheet and the homework.
Yes. Okay.
Are we doing anything, any other topic today?
No, we are not really doing any other topic today. I wanted to talk about these form and function, words and phrases. Okay. So here you have positive, negative, and also you have neutral. So positive is to support, negative is to refute, and neutral is basically to describe. Okay, so you have some words under that. You don't really need to memorize all these words, but while you look at these words, you will get to know what it is exactly. You also have a glossary on page number 87. Did you make any efforts after the last class for developing your vocabulary? Who made efforts? I had asked you to, write words, stick it on your door, or maybe above your study table, read newspapers, something like that. Did you take any extra effort? Jay, did you?
In what, ma'am?
You did? What did you do? I couldn't hear.
No. In what?
Like a vocabulary. Last time I told you that if you have to score well under the words of context, then your vocabulary knowledge is very important. And that is
I
something you
mean,
can.
I've been practicing different words every day.
Okay. So, this is something you might not enjoy being an engineering student, but it is important when it comes to SAT exam.
No, I enjoy doing this. It's not
Okay.
about that. I don't. I hate doing it, but I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some
It's
interest in
actually
English.
Gen Z thing when you can, bring together two words and you can make your own word. And if you use it among your friends in social media, then at some point of time it would gain popularity. And you could be the originator of that word. It happens.
Yeah.
So, what is the meaning of philandrous?
Could you repeat that?
Philandrous. Philanthropy. Philandrous. Philandrous. Any idea? Is it philandrous? I don't know. So this is basically a word, as you said. Philanthropy. What
I
is the meaning of philanthropy?
know.
I don't think that's spelling though. If it's philanthropy, then I don't know. I don't think that's it. Yes. So such words you can even if you Google it, you won't be able to find the meaning of it. It is basically when you join two different contexts together and you create your own words, you can actually use that.
Isn't it
You
like
are-
someone
you can
who's a
actually create
philanderer?
words.
So it's like, is
Yes.
it in any way related to philandery?
R-I-S-T. Is not philanderous. Philanderous. Oh no, this is different, but that is different. What is that? If I'm not wrong, philanderous, I heard this word. Actually, I saw this on somebody's Instagram profile, philanderous. So I tried to Google it. And then I got to know that this word does not really exist in reality, but it is made by that particular person. Maybe that particular person might have read it somewhere in some book, or this word is created by that particular person, and it has some context. Philandrous. So you can actually have multiple interpretations of this word, and you can create your own words by this. This is how I think the evolution of English language has taken place. We have so many words. I think philanthropy could be one word, and res is basically, as you know, it is a suffix. See, because there's a word for philanthropist. Philanthropist.
So I get philanthropist, but this for some reason reminded me of a philanderer, or like and then like mistress together, which has more context than philanthropist over here, because
Also
it's
there
just
was one word. I think it was that. Misanthropic. Yes. You have heard misanthropic. So they are just using these common suffixes, like tropic is a suffix. Misan, or if we talk about misanthropy, what is misanthropy? And what is the meaning of misanthropy? I don't know. It is so. Yes, so these words they actually sound similar, but these words don't usually exist in the Oxford English Dictionary. These are just made by combining two words together because maybe it suits the idea, whatever the person has to present, and they make their own words. Misanthropic. I didn't really research on this. I just had this word in front of me, and I know that this word doesn't really exist, but it's just a combination of two different words, and it means something. Misanthropic.
It can be misanthropic, which is MIS, which means like not liking other people, like unsociable. So that's misanthropic.
Okay.
MI.
See, under words in context, you will always have words that are listed under the gender related or described. Yes. So does this mean feminine? I think so. What does this E mean? It's French. Yes. What if I use this E over here? Does the meaning change? No. No, right? I mean, if it's a French word, it would, but I don't think that's French.
It's for pronunciation. It's not a different
Right,
letter.
exactly. It's for pronunciation. It's not. Okay. No, but the spelling was this only. I think it was MES. And then okay, so see, if you have the words in context thing, you will always have the words that are listed under the Oxford English Dictionary. And you can use this way where you can actually identify the prefix and the suffix, and you can just take out the root word as I told you to get the meaning of it. As she told me that it could be something related to philanthropy, and it might be something related to philanthropy too. I have to research on that. I didn't really research on that. I just like such words. I know. Oh. It's avoiding avoiding person. It is what? Hating a person. Hating or avoiding. Okay, hating or avoiding other people. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Right. It's like antisocial. Okay. We have this exercise on page number 89. Let me check this out. You can do this as your homework. Now what you can do is you can turn to page number 95 and there you have some questions. Okay, so you have 7 questions over there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students over there. So you can do the first one, Trinity. Vatsal, you do the second one. Chair, you do the third one. Avishi, you do the fourth one. Manasvi, you can do the fifth one. And Tahir, you can do the sixth one. I'm not talking about the classroom worksheet. I'm talking about the practice worksheet. That's on page number 95. Let us solve that today.
I forgot which one I have to do. Like, what was my number?
Yeah, the fifth one.
Okay.
Okay. So the questions in the practice worksheet are much more challenging than the classroom worksheet. So let us try doing this today. Just do one question each, and then I might leave you early. That's fine. I think we have only one more topic left, or is it 2 more topics? And that's just so. Is English recipe done? Yes. Yes, the English recipe is done. Then you might have the maths component remaining. I don't know about it. For session 7, I think you also have some questions left to do. Session 7. Cross text connections. Oh yeah, we had so I was supposed to complete it the question. We did the topic, but then do the questions. So do you want me to do it? Will you do that on time? Do it. Well and good. Like I think. Wait, I've done it. Okay. Okay, we've done it. So like we could just complete this topic now and then the next, I think what is the date? This one. So next Saturday would be 19th. Right? So on 19th, I think for you, for Avishti, I think for both of you, I think even for Jay, the STAT would be over. The STAT English syllabus would be over. Vatsal, Tahir, and Keshav, they are new. They are new students.
And by 19th, are you saying?
Yes, 19. Have you
Okay.
attended all my sessions for the writing section?
Yes.
There was Dikshika ma'am who used to take
Yeah,
that.
before it was Ripshika ma'am, yeah.
Yes, and then I continued. So
Yeah,
I think
I've
it's
attended
over.
every single one.
Yes. So the next session would be the last one for the SAT English. If you have
Okay.
any doubts, we could discuss about it. And if it
Yeah,
is not
ma'am.
completed, then I could take one more session. If it is completed, you have no doubts, then the next session would be the last one. Even for Arushi, I think she has completed everything. Right?
And then if English, like, if it finishes, then what will happen next? Tests?
Yes, you will have a lot of tests.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Basically, the theory part and the explanation part is over. Now it depends upon your practice, how well you can do it. And even if you want any session, a practice session or a doubt solving session, then you can inform sir or ma'am about it, and then they will schedule one accordingly with any of the teachers. With Deekshika ma'am or with me or with I think Manish sir, if you want any session, they will schedule it. Next year, gonna leave so early? Yes. I have to walk back home. Can I walk back to Vashi? I have to walk back to Kharghar. You stay at Kharghar? I stay over because I have class tomorrow morning. After class, I go back. You have your relatives? My family and my uncle are in Kerala. So I have to walk back to Kharghar. So you can leave. So I actually told them I have to back home at 8 and they said 8 and I'm so sure that they'll be panicking that I am. Yeah, that's okay. We could just have a quick discussion on this and then we can leave. Okay. So because I think you and Manasvi, you both can just solve questions, but this is not really for the others. So we could help them, we could have a conversation with them, we could discuss with them and help them with the right answers. Are you done? Done? What about Jay, Vatsal, Tahir? Are you done?
2 minutes.
Okay, so I give you 2 more minutes, then we'll start discussing. Amishi, you were attending the sessions offline. You started attending online. Is it because of the distance?
Yeah, ma'am. Plus, I've got my classes on Saturdays, so it becomes difficult to travel there.
Okay.
Plus the rainy season, so from Vashi to Kharghar, it's quite tough.
So, like, would you come here for the next session? Would you come here in class for the next session, or are you planning? Yes, 19th Saturday. Okay. Okay. I think it's next Saturday. Yes. Okay. Yes, I'll probably be over. I'll be here in part of the whole day. Okay, fine. Because if you all are going to be online, so I can also be online. That's the reason I'm asking. Online. I don't mind. Oh, okay. Fine. Because then for me, coming over here and standing in front of an empty classroom but looking at the screen, it has no point, right? So I could also be offline. That's the reason I was asking you. Okay. Next class. What about Manasvi? Are you coming here next class?
If no one is coming, then I also won't come.
No, you tell me according to you both, because see, I think the rest of the students, they are online. But you both, you come here offline. So if you want to come here, I can come too. If you both want to attend, the choice is yours. You tell me, and then I would also come online. Okay. Who will you inform after you guys decide both of you?
No, it's okay. Online is good. I have my PTM next weekend, and I don't think I'm allowed to go out of the house after that.
Oh, that's fine. I'll talk to mom, and then we can have like an online session only the next time. Yeah, we anyways have the last topic left. You know, the issue for me is that from 4 to 6, I have a lecture in Nehru. Yes. And if then, reaching back home for me till 6:30 is not possible, so I could just have a lecture from Nehru itself for you all. I won't come to Harvard. I stay at Wadala. Okay, so I would take your lecture from Nehru only. So I would be in the UP center, but not in Harvard, at Nehru, and then I could take your session from there. Because there I would have the setup also. I only have to take your session. That's all. Then I don't have to travel back to Harvard. I can stay in Nehru and I can take the session. Yes. I hope you all are done. Who was supposed to do the first one? Tell me. You have to be loud. They won't be able to hear you.
The answer is B, to emphasize the difference between macro logs in different locations.
Yes. Why is this the right answer?
Because they're telling us about how at the full surface on the top of the earth, the macro rocks are down green. But if you see them when they're in their actual place under the earth, at the core, they're actually glowing red or they're very hot. So from white to glowing red. So it shows the difference of how they look in different places.
Yes, absolutely. Do you all agree with her? Or do you have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The second one, what's supposed to be the second one? Okay.
Me. Second
What is
one
the right
answer is C.
The answer is C. Okay, can you explain why?
Explain why, because if we compare the other three options, so I think that from the first one, E is correct because it has taken like the contradictory word from the passage, and D one is also correct because the B one is also incorrect be, I because
No, but the C one is the most
B1
appropriate.
B1 is correct because like Edina must make a momentous decision was actually years wrong. It was Edna's realization. And
Yes.
for D1 is like it's like contradicted by the passage. The primary focus is Edna's discovery about herself, not towards her family.
Okay.
So henceforth option D is correct.
Okay. So you got the difference between the main purpose, the primary purpose, and the main idea, isn't it? So
Yes.
just read the question properly and just follow the instructions. What is the question asking exactly? The primary purpose or the main idea? Because both of them are two different things. The third one, who is supposed to do the third one? Who's supposed to do the third one? Wanna read?
Yeah.
So,
I check marks.
okay. Who was supposed to do the third one?
Was it me, ma'am?
I don't know. I just randomly give questions, and then I think
No,
you are
I
supposed to remember the question number.
no, I didn't hear when you get like,
What did you do?
huh?
Which one did you do?
No, I was not able to hear you at that time, so I didn't think you gave us questions.
Oh, okay. So you can do the third one for the time being. Who was supposed to do the fourth one?
Yeah, ma'am, I was supposed to do that.
Give me the answer for the fourth one.
The fourth one is C. It explains the virtual impossibility of becoming a female sculptor in the 19th century.
Okay. Why? You give me the explanation.
Yeah, because it correctly says that it shows the impossible expectations which were um, expected by the women. Oh yeah, that one is correct.
So do you all agree? I think she's right. Let us move on to the fifth one. Who was supposed to do the fifth one? Yes, Manas.
The fifth one, the answer is D because the primary purpose of the underlined sentence is to either highlight or convey. It's not criticizing or describing, so it's not A or B. And it's talking about youthful desire for excitement. It's not necessarily consequences of anything. It's just conveying desire for excitement. So it is D.
It is D, right? Oh, yes, it is right. What about the sixth one?
Yeah, I had to do the sixth one.
Yes,
So
tell me.
I think the answer is A, because it's the text is talking about the effect of motivated reasoning on scientific conclusions and findings. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, the answer is B. You can do the seventh one as your homework and also the rest of the questions that were there in the classroom worksheet. Okay, just go home, solve those questions, and remember to time yourselves. It is very important to time yourselves. If there are how many questions? There are 12 questions under the classroom worksheet. Try to complete all these questions in 15 minutes, not more than that. Okay? All these questions should be completed in 15 minutes. So try to do that. If you are taking more than 15 minutes, then it is something problematic and you need to really work on that. If you are taking less than 15 minutes, then it is really fine. Okay, then you can leave now. I would see you the next Saturday. All are coming online, right? And I would join from there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And I'll see you. Practice at home. Take care. Good night. You can leave.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.